The greatest moments for me with TriDot are always hearing the stories of specific athletes and getting that type of feedback to where it's more than just an athletic achievement, but it's something that really exalts the human spirit.
I was 40 pounds heavier than I am today. I was going back to a reunion, Army reunion back at Fort Bragg, North Carolina with the 82nd Airborne, and had looked in the mirror New Year's Day and saw that I had let myself go and had gotten out of shape, and was that guy we talked about in the Army that had gone on to a cush office job and was no longer doing physical training for a living. Being able to raise your hands at the end and have him say, "Troy Bertram, you're an Ironman," that was well worth the experience.
Being a former complete negative advocate of physical activity and exercise, people do ask how you got into the sport often, and when you do tell them your story, they become motivated. And I think that to me is one of the biggest things that you can give back, is you can tell your story and hope that it encourages others. Everything came right for me on that day, and the elation was floating but fatigued, happy but tired. It was almost every single emotion had an opposing one that was battling the other, but ultimately the best ones came out. There was nothing left I could have given. It was an incredible feeling.
Triathletes are not the most balanced people. They're type A, obsessive compulsive. They're all a little bit crazy, and they get really focused in on their training. With TriDot, I have been so balanced.
My toughest moment was spending almost a year training for Ironman Texas, then not completing it. It was very disappointing, heartbreaking after spending all that time training not to be able to finish. I went out at mile 80 on the bike, and that was a tough moment for me, tough moment. I responded by immediately going up and signing up for the 2014 Ironman Texas. And then also joined, that's when I went ahead and made the switch over to the TriDot program. And I'm using that for my Ironman Texas 2014 training.
From couch to competition in less than a year. From a fat, drunk, cokehead, smoker to a triathlete that, accomplished something that I'm just so proud of. The Galveston 70.3, my mom was crying. It was a really big deal for the family, and she said it was the family event of the year because, and I laughed because the family event of the year was what kind of trouble has Ashley been in over the years, and this was, something that brought the family together to celebrate something that I did that everyone was really proud of.
I think my kids look up to me now. Well, not that they didn't before, but now I've got one daughter that started up triathlons, and she's doing really well at it. I feel like completing the TriDot system for my races, that I actually inspire them a little bit.
Typical client is going to be an age grouper with goals. Our client is not the person who just wants to go out and do a bunch of training and show up on race day and do something. It's one that has a goal, wants to progress, wants to improve, wants to stay injury-free, wants to qualify for something, finish something, push their limits.
My name's Frank Pistone, and I'm an insurance agent. And I've been doing triathlon since April 2012.
My name's Ashley Andy, and I'm 40 years old, and I work in advertising. And I just started with TriDot in the last year.
My name is Christine Richnow. I am a systems analyst, project leader for a chemical company, and I've been doing triathlon since August of 2011.
My name is Melanie Yarzi. I've been a TriDot coach for about 6 months now, and I've been coaching triathlon for 4.5 years.
My name's Martin Gibson. I'm Vice President of Information Technology for Zale Corporation, and I've been a triathlete for almost 3 years.
I'm Troy Bertram. I work for Amazon Web Services as a senior manager in the public sector. Been a triathlete now for 1.5 years.
The most typical things that our clients come to us wanting us to help them with, or one is they want to perform better, or to do something that they haven't done before. It's a first Ironman, a first Olympic, a first something, and they want to do well. They don't want to just suffer through the whole thing and regret it.
I'm turning 40 this fall. I wanted to complete an Ironman, and I wanted to qualify for the Boston Marathon.
I want to be an Ironman. And I'm counting on TriDot to help me achieve that goal.
The second thing is they want to make better use of their time. They're busy people, their families matter to them, their careers matter to them, their friends, their social, all these other things matter as well, and triathlon is just one of the many things in which they invest.
My biggest challenge is trying to balance training workouts with family and work and fit everything in.
I travel 50% of the time for a living, so it's having the time to train while I'm on the road and or when I'm home with the family, of blocking out the time and then getting the most out of the training hours that are available.
And lastly, they want to remain injury-free. It's not about achieving one goal, it's about a lifestyle and being healthy and active for a long time, and the satisfaction that comes from that.
The benefits outside of triathlon for me is a healthier way of life. It's become more of a lifestyle now rather than just a sport.
Well, the TriDot system is 3 parts. The TriDot score is the initial measure of an athlete's ability, their absolute ability, and normalized against all the swim, bike, and run. So you're able to determine not only which discipline is strongest, but by how much. So you can look and tell relative differences between them. When you take that information along with the athlete's age, body composition, and a whole bunch of other factors, that information now becomes meaningful. You know exactly what they can do when you look at our database of results.
TriDot scores are very, very good. I've never seen anything else like it in triathlon coaching that can so accurately predict your current fitness to be able to race at a certain distance.
The TriDot score allows me to focus on what I need to improve, but it also allows me to determine where and to what level I want to improve. I may be happy with a TriDot score of 48 and say I need to sustain that, but really put all my focus into improving my TriDot score in the cycling discipline, which gives me the best return.
The second part of the TriDot system, and that's the training design. With that much precise measurement up front of the athlete and their pure ability and how that corresponds to other people that have been through the system, we know how to build training specifically for that athlete. So they get a training phase that's very specific and very detailed and very optimized. There's no junk workouts in there, there's no logging mindless miles. Every workout has a purpose, and they're going to get the most out of it.
The phases have made complete sense now that I look back on it, and that's what I was missing prior to TriDot, was having a phase where we went into a strength phase leading up to early in the year before we got into the long bike rides and the final Ironman training. It was looking at a strength phase and then focusing on swimming fundamentals and some running fundamentals before we started ramping distance.
The third part of TriDot is RaceX, and that's connecting their training results, the gains they made in training, in a repeatable, specific way to race day. So they're going to have specific race efforts and pacing zones and specific paces. They're not going to be guessing, did I go out too hard or not hard enough on the bike? Did I save enough for the run? You know, what should my pace have been? They're going to have that prescribed for them very specifically. On race day, they're going to race with confidence, and they're going to get every ounce of ability. Whatever they came with fitness-wise, they're going to lay it all out on the table with no regrets, no reservations at the end of the day. RaceX
not only helped me prepare for where am I going to be, how do I know I'm on plan, and it really, now looking back on it, it really helped me prepare for having 2 bike flats. I knew I was still on track to hit my goal, and actually while I was ahead of time, I felt really good knowing that, okay, deal with your flats and you're still on your goal, and still go run well and you'll hit your goal.
Our coaches focus exclusively on the athlete, caring for that athlete, supporting them, answering questions, or educating them, motivating them without the burden of the administration, the marketing, the building the plan, the figuring out what they do on what days, so that they're able to work with the athlete through the implementation.
Surprising for me is how mental the process was and how much I can train and be physically prepared, but I also had to do a lot of mental preparation, and that's what helped with having a coach to talk to a lot.
My most favorite moments in the TriDot program is giving my coach a hard time. I am an extreme analyst, I'm an extreme engineer, and I question almost everything. Low points where he has really been a coach, when you're 3 weeks out from a race and you have dead legs and you can't hit numbers that you're supposed to hit, and then all of a sudden it just comes right on race day. I think that's the best piece. is on race day, you force yourself to admit he was right and you were wrong.
Our athletes are constantly improving. We've had athletes qualify for worlds and national competitions, Kona, so they're just consistently shocked at what they can do. They are achieving results that they never thought were possible.
Every race I've done since I've been on TriDot, I've PR'd. And I had been plateaued for several years. At least 2 years I had been plateaued. So yeah, I took an hour and 20 minutes off of my Ironman time this year.
After 6 months in the TriDot program, my 70.3 PR has been reduced 20 minutes to 5:06, and my full Ironman distance has come from 12:43 to 10:52, an improvement of 1 hour 52.
From a time standpoint, most people that are highly competitive in Ironman distance, for example, are doing 17 to 22 hours a week training. That's normal. And our athletes are doing 10 to 11, 12-hour Ironman, PRing by more than an hour on those races and doing so with no more than 15 hours training a week. Some of them are doing 13, 14 hours training a week and still doing those types of times. So they're able to do so in general on 25 to 30% fewer hours.
I took an hour and 20 minutes off my Ironman time, and I trained about 30% less than I did in the past.
Before TriDot, I was training probably 20 hours, anywhere from 17 to 20 hours a week. And after TriDot, it's dropped down to, right now it's between actually 13 and 15. My family, they appreciate that. They say, oh, Mom can come home and cook dinner now instead of being out at the pool or at the track running. And we get a lot more time together.
I think TriDot has worked wonders for my family life.
From an injury standpoint, we had, about a half dozen pros last season, all at their peak performance level in every single discipline. And at the same time, they were all at their longest injury-free period that they've ever had in their career. And so athletes that have been around a while having a 2 and a 3 year injury-free period, which they've never had before, while at the same time having their performance in every single discipline be at the top that it has ever been in their career.
I haven't been injured, other than a sprained ankle or other things that have occurred more because of environment than it is a training schedule.
Honestly, I think if I'd signed up for an Ironman without having tried out there, there's no way I would have finished it. I've been pulled off on a kayak somewhere, but it feels good. It feels really good.
My investments in triathlon ranged from swimsuits, wetsuits, bikes. But in terms of the return on investment, the best return on investment is from the program, the TriDot program, and the coach, by far.
The best investment that I made is starting with TriDot.
The best money I've spent on triathlon thus far has been on the TriDot system. The customization of the program plus the availability of a coach to help guide me through the process has maximized the hours I've got for training, and it's produced results. I would certainly do it again and would do it much quicker next time.
TriDot is definitely worth the price. When you get into triathlons and training, you can spend money everywhere you look, and this has definitely been the best investment that I've made in a coaching program. It's helped my fitness level, it gives me my workout plans, it's regimented. I have access to my coach. I work out with my coach. Luckily that I have a TriDot coach that's here and local, and will answer any questions I need, and it's been an awesome experience.
Do it. Don't make the mistake I've done. Sign up for TriDot, because I made the mistake going in blindly, just doing my own thing, and I paid for it. And afterwards, signing up with TriDot, the first one, just a few months, I found 45 minutes I didn't know I had. And now I'm eager to see what I can do on the next half and the next full.